The brawl continues here in the tavern at the Hearthstone Battlegrounds. You take a look and glance at some of the heroes available, but none bigger hero than perhaps the player sitting right behind us. Welcome back, everyone, to the $300,000 invitation that we have going on today with Frodan and Trixler back in the action, all the way from the Nexus and Heroes of the Storm, plopping by for a quick visit. How are you enjoying your stay so far?
I'm good. I've plopped down, as you mentioned there, and I'm here to just continue to watch this beautiful game mode unfold. It's great to watch all these amazing players showing off the great strats that you can pull off in Hearthstone Battlegrounds. Also, I'm not gonna lie, it feels a little good to watch even the greatest minds in Hearthstone maybe fall out to some poor RNG in 7th and 8th place so I can feel better about my own gameplay.
It happens, even to the best of us, quite literally. And if you look at how everything is panned out, you might be tuning in and trying to ask like what's actually happening. So for people who are new to the stream or maybe watching on VODs and skipping all the way through, let's once again walk through what we are doing today. We are pitting 4 teams of 4 players each, so 16 players, and challenging them to a series of lobbies where the top 4 will earn points for their team and get some prize money based on where the teams rank 1 to 4.
Yep, we have our 2 lobbies running at the same time, a lobby A and a lobby B, 8 players apiece. And as mentioned by Frodan, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place will be awarded points. These points are contributed to your team, and you are aiming to have the most points at the end of the day. The first team that lands in 1st place will have $20,000 awarded per a player. That's not all 4 of them splitting it. That's $20,000 each.
That's a lot of money. That's a pretty good weekend, and they're guaranteed some money already because of the voting that you all did beforehand, getting packs. Let's take a quick look at the Doombringers and the Megafins. Those are potentially 2 big movers as Surrender getting some points, but Firebat, Zalay, and Asmodai, they have to also start getting those big points, otherwise they're gonna fall too far behind. But it's not over till it's over. We only play 2 more lobbies. We at least have a couple of more.
Yep.
And we're about to go into lobby number 3. Now, one thing that we didn't mention is that we did promise a card reveal at the beginning of the stream for the Descent of Dragons expansion.
I'm excited for that because I want to get back into Constructed. I want to see what's coming your way. I'm a fan of dragons. I'm becoming a fan of cards. I'm a fan of Frodan, so I want to see his reaction when those cards come out.
Too.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Got great style.
He delivers. He really does. So yeah.
Tries a little hard, but
I mean, you have to in this industry, right? Like, that's just how the life is. I don't know, but I actually wanted to ask you a question, Frodan, as we're waiting for this lobby to pop up. If you were playing in this tournament and you were given $20,000 at the end of the day, what would you buy?
Oh, I would buy half a Control Warrior deck, easily.
Even I get that joke. That's amazing. I'd buy a jet ski, but you go for warrior compositions.
I want to invest my things that that stand the test of time.
Okay, fair enough.
Because not only is the Control Warrior deck a great way to flex on all my opponents with the Golden Warrior skin.
Sure.
It's also a deck that will last a long time because I get to play 1 game. And that'll last for a couple of days, a couple of weeks.
You can get to the entire time.
It's a really good investment in terms of money spent per minute spent playing Hearthstone.
Okay, so what I'm hearing right now is when I start jumping into Constructed after I become a god here at Hearthstone Battlegrounds from learning from all these amazing players, my first purchase needs to be Control Warrior, is what you're telling me. Is there any other decks I should keep my eye out for?
Right now, if you really want to play a lot of good constructed decks, Shaman is the current top class, some would say. But I overall enjoy all kinds of variety. I'm a big fan of Highlander decks right now.
Okay.
And I'm looking forward to see if the Dragons can support some of those Highlander cards that came out with the most recent expansion, Theaters of Old-Doon, which, again, we're not revealing the card right now, so it's a little bit of a bait. But we're going to be showing the 3 cards at the very end, and just like that, card reveal season has begun, which is the most magical time of the year because everyone is so wrong about all these cards, but a few people get it right on. They spot on nail it with the prediction, and those are always really fun to look at in retrospect.
I have to ask you, who is the usual content creator that I should be keeping an eye on that usually does get that right? Because for me, a lot of my Hearthstone is through Crib. I'm not gonna lie, he's my bedtime stream, man. When I'm ready to go to bed, I keep an eye on him. I see what's going on with the Hearthstone community, and that's kind of been my way into the entire world lately. But who is someone else that I should keep an eye out for those reveals?
For those reveals, it's just go to the playhearthstone.com and just see the card reveal schedule. I really look forward to a specific group in China that does a card reveal, and they actually put on full production.
Wow.
They put in CGI and augmented reality and like do a bunch of cool like effects.
A ballet and stuff.
As if they are Jaina or they are Garrosh and they're like fighting against real dragons.
That's so cool, dude.
They do like a full-on, full-fledged production with cosplay, animation, graphics, voice acting, etc. Really
Okay, well, it sounds like that's something that I'm gonna have to keep an eye out
reveal,
for.
like, the
all
coolest
those
legendaries, too.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out.
because of their clout.
I'm gonna slide in your DMs and be like, Frodan, please hook me up with that video. I want to see what exactly is happening in the world of reveals. And I believe it's gonna be a daily occurrence. You, of course, can check the calendar yourself, going to playhearthstone.com. There's an entire calendar set up, an entire schedule. Cards are coming your way. It is a season, and of course, if you're new like me and you're coming into this because of Hearthstone Battlegrounds, this could be a great way for us all to start playing Construct together and really enjoy ourselves as players. That's really what the tavern delivers here when it comes to Hearthstone. I'm really getting a sense of this community, and it seems like just a ton of fun. Maybe a little bit of salt here and there, but mostly a lot of fun.
Oh, just a little.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Depends on where you look for it. Just like most things in life in terms of natural resources, it might be more concentrated in other areas of the world than in others. But I think the players here are pretty salt-free. They're having a good time. They're browsing Reddit. They're looking up to see if their clips hit live stream fails. Most likely not.
So what I'm
talking
hearing
about anybody in particular here.
What I'm hearing, Dan, is apparently your mic is cutting out, and they want you to use that thing right there, man. We've lost you in your voice. We have no idea what you've been saying, but it was very nice stuff, you know?
I apologize there. I'm holding a handheld mic now.
You look great.
Production value.
You hold that mic well. You wield it like a host. You really do.
Do I?
Yeah.
I use my hands.
I would not fight you if I had a
Is that how you're
sword.
supposed to use a microphone?
All right, well, looks like we are setting up here for this round, so let's go ahead and head on over, Frodan.
All right, so with round number 3 underway, I'm looking forward to seeing if the Rabid Rangers and the Doombringers can pull it back. As you see, Zalay, Tice, Dog, Firebat, Regis Kilbin, Trump, Vinz, and Kalento. 2 players from each team enter a lobby of 8, and only 4 can get points. Who's going to be the first player that we hop onto from perspective?
Personally, I'm hoping it will be Vinz, because Vinz grabbed Patchwork, which I think is a pretty interesting hero. He is the only hero in this game that has additional health starting out the gate. He has a total of 60 instead of the normal 40 that you will find on the other heroes. This gives you a lot of room to play. A lot of folks in Hearthstone, but even more so in this game, look at your health pool as a resource. You want to use that as a way to tech up. Maybe you take a little bit more damage instead, get a few more tech tiers in, and Patchwork is wonderful for that because you have additional 20 health to play around with.
That's right. Gonna go against AFK, played by Firebat, and get that early game damage. But I like what you're talking about. Health is a resource in a lot of these kinds of games, and Battlegrounds, auto battles are no different. If you try to think about it abstractly, if you have a lot of health, you have more time to assemble your strong army. And in these games, you're gonna have some weak turns where you don't get offered the right minions you want, you don't get the right synergy and combinations. You need like one extra roll. That's the addicting thing about this genre. One more roll, one more refresh, one more shop, one more round. If you can get that one more round and land that perfect composition, it is so satisfying. And Patrick gives you that extra time, 60 health instead of 40. And rightfully so, most people are calling him one of the best heroes in the game.
He's very, very strong. I like that you point that out, that like trying to really teeter the edge between falling victim and getting that perfect composition. In a way, it's almost kind of like Blackjack a little bit. Do you want to hit a little bit more? Do you want to play for that? And I prefer this game more than Blackjack because I lose less money.
There's no way that Hearthstone Battlegrounds is more swingy than my Blackjack game.
Is it pretty bad for you? Do you hit on 16? That's
Be
the question.
responsible out there, please, everybody. Stay away from Blackjack.
Make sure you budget accordingly. That's all we have to say there. All right, so moving into this next round, a pretty strong board setup for you. There's a couple of great fundamentals already here for Vinz. He has 2 homunculus there, you can see in the middle, and on the far right, the one in the middle and the one on the far right here allows for him to kind of set himself up for some cleave and whatnot, but also is building towards that 3rd card, which allows for you to upgrade. And he also has the Amalgam, which we've already talked about as being one of the best cards you can have in Hearthstone Battlegrounds because it is very easy to fit it into any composition and allows for you to really build out what you want, and it just fits right on in.
That's right. The Nightmare Amalgam, as you can see, is an elemental, mech, demon, murloc, dragon, beast, pirate, and totem. It's a lot of things, and it helps you get that synergy. But more importantly, one thing that I like that Vinz is doing is that he's favoring getting this early game board. People might look at the Vulgar Homunculus and they think, you're dealing damage to yourself, and you don't get to get life back. So why is this a card that Vinz is buying? Especially because he's playing 2 of them and he's dealing damage to himself. But Patrick has that extra health.
Yeah.
So you can favor that early game stats because 2-4 is way better than the 1-1s and 2-2s you get in the beginning of the game. You can get those wins and chip your opponent down. Vinz has lost only health. He has 56. That's all the damage he's dealt to himself.
Exactly.
All the damage he's been doing to other people equalize the field, so you get to be a little bit more aggressive. And if you talk about Patrick losing 4 health versus other heroes losing 4 health, it means a lot more to them because it's a smaller percentage of his health relative to the other heroes.
There is literally no other 1-drop that can beat the Homunculus. There is one that can trade. There is a Rockbiter, which is one that you can pick up, but nothing will beat it, which means you don't take any damage. So just to allude a little bit more there on top of Frodan's point. Already, he's also building into the Zoth here. He has 2 of them on the left. Typically, most players will grab 1, but we have 2 here for him, which allows for him to get that attack pattern in, buff all of his units, so that additional robust health that you already mentioned becomes even more so of an issue for the opposing teams. And right now, he's gone through 2 attack patterns and has not lost an Homunculus yet, which allows for him to run down that board.
And it's important that Vinz did something that a lot of people who are new to Battlegrounds might not realize what they can have do as their option, which is you can freeze your board.
Yeah.
So you're going to see that Spawn of N'Zoth appear once again on the far right of his shop, right here, and it's because he used this freeze mechanic. When you use freeze, your shop that is offered to you by Bob will stay there past the combat round. And because Vinz had the opportunity to grab 3 of these, he can do a little bit of an advanced play. He can grab this 3rd Spawn of N'Zoth, and he can tier up his tavern. And the reason why you might want to do that is because when you get 3 of a kind of a specific unit, you get a tavern reward for 1 star higher than your current level. So if he uses the Spawn of N'Zoth now, he can get a 4-star unit because he has 3 stars of his tavern. But if he techs up by going to Tavern Tier 4, he will get a 5-star unit, and 5 stars when you start getting some heavy hitters. So Vinz has to make some decisions though, because in order to get that, he has to sell his board, and he's just gonna freeze.
Yeah. So something to point out too is he has 3 demons right now when you look into a tribe, and most of your good demon units are on tier 5. So if he is wanting to wait to the next round, tech up, he's willing to take a little bit of damage here if he can't win the board trade, but he'll be in the tier 5, he'll be able to pick up N'Zoth, as you mentioned, and then find potentially a Mal'Ganis, which is a wonderful trade-up. It's a 9 damage attack character that also buffs any demons that are on the board with 2/2. So he's going for a big play. The question is, will it pay off? This is a calculated gamble coming in from Vinz.
Tim, he just took 9 damage, and he's still 7 more than everyone's max health.
Yeah.
He's totally okay taking this damage.
Moment of truth.
And so now he'll get a triple reward. Triple reward discovers a Void Lord.
That's fine.
Or a Brand Bronzebeard.
Ooh, that's a hard pick.
Brand Bronzebeard keeps his composition a lot more open.
And his beard looks nice. You can't dodge those. I'm a fan of beards.
Is that who you're modeling your beard after?
I'm looking for it, dude. Give me at least 3 more weeks.
He also finds the Toxfin, which is really important to give your Murlocs poisonous. And because, again, Nightmare Amalgam is every single tribe, it's a Murloc and a Beast and a Demon, he's able to get maximum value. Now, this other card that Vinz has bought is one of my favorites.
I love this card.
It's called Soul Juggler. Whenever a friendly demon, that means a demon on your side, whenever it dies, you deal 3 damage to a random enemy minion, which means the moment Amalgam dies, because it's a demon, the moment Homunculus dies, the moment this other one dies, it's going to deal 3 damage to a random enemy minion, which is important because it might be able to go past taunts and kill those really important carry cards that grow bigger.
This is great for sniping Divine Shield, sniping potential characters like the Hyena as well. So let's watch our first snipe. Boom, it connects at 3 damage. And hits a Rover. Not the best trade ever,
Yeah,
but
that was
hey,
not good.
Closer to death. Oh my gosh, that Rover is paying off so
There
far.
you go.
There's a connection, 1 more unit down. Buffs come out from the N'Zoth. The only issue with this card is if you don't have multiple demons all completely laid out, you might not get the picks you're looking for, but it still survives for now.
So in hindsight, had Vinz picked up the Void Lord, this Soul Juggler would have gone completely off.
Yeah.
But Vinz, again, he's planning for the late game. The Void Lord and the Soul Juggler is damaged now, but he needs to figure out a way to catapult himself beyond just getting immediate synergies. And I think that's a lot of traps that new players fall in when they play Battlegrounds or other auto battlers, that they think about the immediate when they're trying to realize that the big picture is they need something more powerful in the turns in order to win the game. And when we talk about wins, we're defining it based off of getting a top 4.
Exactly.
And look at this, right? Like, the Alley Cat looks weak. By all means, maybe sell that and get something else more meaningful. But Vin's doing something a little bit controversial, in my opinion, which is he's not buffing a Cave Hydra up. And all these beast buff on the Alley Cat could have potentially gone to a Cave Hydra. And I'm going to wonder if that pays off for him, because long term, Vinz wants to be able to get a lot more stats out onto the board to deal damage. And Cave Hydra, with its AoE effect, is one of the best, because Cave Hydra also deals its damage to any minion that's next to its target.
It is a bit of a different play for him. The good news is he has a lot of room to play because of that patchwork. So this is probably just more of a result of his hero pick and him just playing the odds himself. He's just looking to go for a big, massive amalgam right now, which is going to be helping him out, wanting to really get a lot of value off of that brand, which also may be another reason why the slow chart's really popping out for him.
Sure.
He wants to find Battle Cry after Battle Cry. But we'll see if it pays off for him here, because he got rid of the Soul Juggler, which personally I feel attacked, but that's okay. We'll allow for him to move forward.
Demons, it's not happening. One of the worst things you could do in terms of a competitive mindset in this game is to be stubborn and only go for one thing. You have to adapt to what the game is giving you, and Vinz is adapting to the fact that he's looking for battle cries. Again, I'm a little surprised that he actually didn't even freeze a battle cry board. He had another Houndmaster, another Meltooth Leaper, and those cards give plus attack and health to their minions. And with Brand's Bronzebeard, which again doubles the battle cries of whatever you play, you get twice the value. And a lot of these cards that are offered with Bob right now, they're not really doing much. And so if I am Vinz, I'm looking for a way to maybe even replace some of these other cards. There's another Amalgam. I like that. There's a Primal Field Lookout. This card is also great because you get to discover 2 Murlocs, which might help you give extra health or extra stats.
Or a poison on that Amalgam if he wants to pick it up.
Or a 3rd Amalgam.
That's true.
I think it's really important. So Cold Light Seer and another Cold Light Seer as an opportunity to give Murlocs health.
He'll be able to buff his Amalgam here to the far left. Not the most amazing. Well, it's pretty good actually. He's going up to 22 here.
So Vinz is playing really fast, and this is something that a lot of players need to do in the game. One thing that you have to kind of evaluate is, the value of a 2nd Amalgam. Because right now, Vinz doesn't have a strong, streamlined composition. He has a beast, a couple of demons, and he has like one of everything. He doesn't have like one tribe. He doesn't have all mechs. He doesn't have all demons, all beasts. And if you're gonna go for a varied mix of stuff, having multiple amalgams makes everything better. Because if you look at Cold Light Seer, it gives your other Murlocs +2 health. That works with 2 amalgams. So you want to be able to buff them a lot. So Vinz is making an active, conscious decision saying, I'm not going to prioritize amalgams. Instead, I'm going to prioritize keeping the buffs going on my immediate board. And I wonder if that's going to pay off for him in the long run here.
Well, right now, he is facing off who is currently in first place. It's going to be AFK here. We'll see if Vinz is going to be able to take her out. This is Firebat.
Yeah. And again, all these Battle Cry stuff investment could very well pay off here for Vinz in the long run because he's buffing his board individually. But now that patchwork advantage is kind of out of there. It's
starting to dwindle, yeah.
He's in the he's still in the low 30s, but now he's in the range where if he loses 2 really bad battles, he's on the breaking point.
It seems to me like he really just wants to try and maybe find that Light Fang and play Battle Cries and just run with pure stats all the way. He grabs the Amalgam, finds a Toxin, which will allow for him to get poison to that Amalgam. What are you sawing for?
I saw a Meltooth Leaper, but I realized that we don't have like that board space right now, and we got to figure out something else we can do here.
And he has a 2-3 to clear out, and if really push comes to shove, you can get rid of these off.
The 3rd Vulgar Homunculus, which, by the way, does work with Brand Bronzebeard, so you gotta be careful with it. Look, your battle cries happen twice, and Vulgar Homunculus deals 2 damage to you. Well, that's really expensive.
That's okay. Patchwork likes the damage. Hit me, he says. Here's 2. And here's another 2. Boom. Down to 28. But
Oh my gosh, the Gentle Megasaur.
there it is.
Gentle Megasaur is a battle cry adapt your Murlocs. You get to adapt twice. And for people who are not familiar with the adapt mechanic, adapt is 10 options that you can get to buff your Murlocs. And it includes an assortment of small buffs like +3 attack, +3 health. You get Divine Shield, Wind Fury, Poisonous. There's a lot of really good effects. So if I'm Vinz, I'm looking at a way to get that second amalgam down, getting that Megasaur with Brand Bronzebeard, double buffing it, Cold Light Sear it, Toxfin. There's a lot that's going to happen right here, right now.
Oh, the rope begins and he makes his plays. Boom, gets a Divine Shield.
Wind Fury, Divine Shield.
Wind Fury, nice. And there's a poison coming in. The dream here.
Yes, even has the option of selling a couple more minions and getting this Battle Master. Vin's recognizing he doesn't have enough time, which is really smart. Sometimes you don't have enough time, just freeze the board.
Yeah, I do that on mobile all the time. Just I don't pay attention, and then suddenly I don't get all my minions on the board. Here comes that Wind Fury attack, though, off the Poison Amalgam, and it survives. Finds a big pick on the Microbot. It's going to be also a Ghost Coiler. Now, this Ghost Coiler does spawn 2 units, so he'll have to clear up those. Luckily, it's not the best units that minion can drop.
Goodness.
Finds another Poison attack.
Tim,
Dan.
these 2 amalgams have killed 6 targets and counting. It is so much incredible value. And of course, some of them are first half of the bodies, like there's a summon that comes off of that minion just died. But look at the power of Wind Fury, Poisonous, and Divine Shield. That is the Holy Triumvirate. And the gamble that Vinz took early on is gonna lead to 17 damage, pressuring his opponents out of the game. So we remember how we were talking about how Vinz favoring leveling up, bypassing certain things. That gambit is paid off. And now he's in a great position to potentially close out this lobby with a huge advantage. But he is going up against Firebat, who's playing AFK, who is also the second strongest, or if you go by life total, the strongest person right now in this lobby.
Well, the Anoia module is going to go straight on top of this Amalgam and keep it buffed up, but we're going to go look over to Firebat and see how he is faring. Another AFK showing coming in here. Checking out his board, has a nice, robust Cave Hydra on the far left. It's looking to apply some damage to get those attacks in. Also running a Light Fang strat himself. And interestingly enough, he has an Anoia module that he has kept that has been getting the buff. He has 2 buffers actually with an Iron Sensei as well. So really just making sure to have a massive unit and have Cleave to start it all off.
That's right. So the Cave Hydra is just used to spread the damage and get that AoE early on. I mean, even if the Cave Hydra only pops Divine Shields, its job is done. However, Firebat's gonna be for Rude Awakening. Last time he faced Vinz, he was nowhere near this strong.
Gets a swipe. Would like to have 2, but we'll take 1 as well. The Divine Shield collides there with the Iron Sensei. Here comes a Poison. It connects. It's going to trade on that Murloc. Both ends do fall. Divine Shield connects. And it's going to be an Anoia module down.
It's pretty painful, but Vinz gets the double trade. However, is the Battle Master, the 353, enough to clean up the rest of this? It looks like it.
Maybe he can swipe in there, so at least they mitigate the damage.
Right. And
Firebat, oof.
And it looks like Vinz is going to continue to clean up, but Firebat's not going to take too much damage. 10 here is kind of a big deal, but he could take a couple of those and still live. It's all about survival. If you know that you can't win first place based off the strength of your army, try your best to win second place or third place, maybe even fourth, and you're still in a good spot here.
I mean, he's in a wonderful spot. These triple buffs that are currently running here is going to continue. 1, getting that Anoia buffed out the rear. You're also going to be having that Cave Hydra getting 2 damage every single turn. He's making sure that that's the only beast on the field he has to ensure that buff will continue to connect with that. So as long as he continues to hold first place, I feel like he's going to keep running there. And we're going to need some really good trades from opposing players for him to even have a chance of falling victim.
We got information that Regis Kilman and Trump are the first 2 players eliminated. Trump being taken out by Calento, so another member of the Tavern being taken out by a Rust Bucket player. Firebat looking to see if he can freeze this board to capitalize on some of those battle cries. Menagerie Magician. In Hearthstone Standard, it was seen every now and then, but when it was in Standard, just getting a couple of buffs for tempo. But in the Battlegrounds, when you have Amalgam on the board, give a random beast, dragon, and murloc gives you up to +6/+6. There's no dragon on this board here, but there is a murloc and a beast, which Firebat wants to buff for the Cave Hydra and that murloc on the board.
Nice 4/4 to have there. And the great thing, too, is like he doesn't have to instantly play that. He has enough buffers already on the board. He's getting pretty strong. But when he gets to a point where it's like, okay, I need to end this game, or I've struggled in a matchup, whew, I can buff out all these characters. There was a big swipe. It connects. And Megazord does come out of that death rattle. If it survives, it will hit for additional damage here.
Yeah,
trying to hold.
But this is Zalay and Firebat. They're teammates, and it looks like Zalay is going to get crushed here out of this lobby. This is not what you want to see as teammates. Firebat queuing up into Zalay, and Zalay tried to go for the death rattle build that Surrender was playing. He had that, he had the Baron Rivendare. 21 damage. Is that the most that we've seen on broadcast yet,
I think
Tim?
it is. Up in the 20s. We'll see if we can get a higher one, but
Oh
so
my
far,
goodness.
Firebat holds the record, 21.
6 players battled, 3 eliminated.
Wow.
Zalay ended in 6th place. Dog in 5th place. And sneaking in by the hair of his chinny chin chin is Calento. Calento landing a top 4 finish for Team Rust Buckets.
Having the most health when all of them were fallen victim to their final blows. He was the one that able to grab 4th place, so at least he'll be able to earn 1 point. So looking into it, we got Calento, we got Vinz, and we got Firebat left over to duke it out to see who can get 1st place.
Yep. Yogg-Saron played by Tice, so it's going to be a Firebat versus Tice matchup. The head-to-head that we saw a lot in Hearthstone's early days of competitive.
Who would you say got the upper hand back in those days?
I would say early on, Firebat had gotten the best a lot of times because that's how he became a known competitive player before he won the World Championship, was that he was cleaning up all these big tournaments. Tice was also doing really well, but his claim to fame was that he won something silly like 13 King of the Hill matches in a row, which is just incredible because you're playing against like top level players at the time. And so the open tournaments belong to Firebat, but the invitational show matches belong to Tice, and those are how the two players crafted their early game resumes.
Wow. Well, let's see how they face off here in Hearthstone Battlegrounds. Yogg down to 2 HP. We'll see if Tice is able to hold off against Firebat. Firebat with 22 HP and a devastating board is looking to clean up. Now, we do have the Hyena on the far right, which is a golden Hyena, by the way, so he gets additional buffs compared to his tier 1 counterpart, but still, I don't know if it'll be enough, Rodan.
We'll see. There's a lot of stats, and it actually really depends on the rat pack and how many rats it's going to summon, how much damage. Oh no, the Mama Bear!
Mama Bear!
The Mama Bear gives +4/+4 to every single beast, and when Rat Pack summons rats after its death,
1/1s.
these are all beasts. And right now they're 1/1s. They could be 5/5s.
But they are not.
And now that is making a huge difference because this Murloc still has poisonous, and it's got a date with the Scavenging Hyena.
It's got a nice date. Get the candles ready, get the wine ready. We'll see this little Murloc face off against a Hyena, and here's the issue. It's got poison.
Even if it didn't have poison, it's looking like it would just kill it anyways. So that's gonna wrap up Tice's run here, but again, a 3rd place finish. Not bad whatsoever. Still getting points with Rust Buckets. Tice and Calento, AKA the 2 Calentos, getting 3rd and 4th place for that consistency. Now we are down to just Vinz from the Rabid Rangers up against Firebat, the 2 players that we've been following this entire game, and rightfully so. Really dominant menagerie boards, and Vinz getting that Murloc Divine Shield Wind Fury board. Really powerful stuff. Battle cries versus tribal buffs.
And one thing that might come into effect here for Firebat that he needs to worry about for his opponent, Vinz has 2 of those Battle Masters, which have 65 HP apiece. Now, he does have poison to deal with that, but he only currently has 1 available to him. Those Battle Masters, they really do a wonderful job of just soaking up damage, and it helps you get those trades you're looking for. Sure, they don't attack, but they got staying power.
Precisely. And you can see that Firebat prioritizing just getting more stats because, you know, it's great that there's 365s, but if they have, you know, 29-31, they're going to trade pretty well into 3 attacks. So I think Firebat prioritizing his battle cries, getting a lot of buffs onto his minions, that's the key. And he's ordering his army in a very specific way. Usually Cave Hydra goes first. Why is it second here,
He moved the Light Fang all the way over because now you're in a point where people are going to be having Divine Shield. You know it, and typically they have taunt as well. You want your 2/2 to run in to those taunts or Divine Shield to try and get a bubble.
Like that?
Just like that.
No, actually, exactly not like that. It bumped into the 12-16.
There was no bubble, so sadly it didn't work out for them. It was a 1 in 3 chance, but we'll see how it continues to unfold. The poison connects and hands a pretty devastating blow here to Firebat.
Vinz taking out 2 minions and sniping the poisonous minions, meaning these 365s are gonna do some havoc onto the board. And each of these Battle Masters, they are 5-star units, which means that them surviving is 10 damage at the very least. This is massive coming in from Vinz.
3 left over, 5, 10, 11 plus 5, 16 comes in and hits AFA in the face. She is down to 6 HP, and now Firebat, he has to scramble.
The battle is really raging out.
I think Firebat, he's in a position where his best call that he can make is actually just getting an individual poison minion.
Yeah.
And one of those that exists is at the 6-star tier with my Exno. My Exno is a 2-weight beast that just has poisonous on his tag, but it might be really useful just to snipe that really large amalgam in the middle of the battle.
Here's the sad part though, he's only sitting on Tavern tier 5, which means he would need to find an upgrade to get that level 6 just to get the poison, and you can't afford the economy. It would cost him 9 just to go up that route. Things not looking so good here for Firebat, but I agree with you. An additional poison here would have been very helpful for him. Instead, he gets a wolf, throws on a couple of death battles, and prays for the best.
There's time though, that Light Fang attacking a Divine Shield. Let's see if that makes a big difference.
6 comes in, busts on the Cave Hydra. That Cave Hydra is gonna hit 29 spread damage.
Oof. With the Wind Fury attack, it gets to attack again. Is it gonna snipe another Divine Shield?
Okay, it does. Big hit comes in. Will clear out one minion. The other one just enough to get the kill. It's actually huge for Firebat.
This is big. That was really big. The fact that Firebat was able to take down 2 poisonous minions with that Cave Hydra, the stat buff working out just enough, and that is the difference maker. Firebat's gonna clean up this battle.
That is actually incredible here, and the Battle Master will go straight into the taunt, eat the poison, and Firebat lives to fight another match. We have a one-on-one on our hands here, Dan.
Vin's taking 10, but still, that's where the extra 20 buff came into play. If Patrick had 40 health, Patchwork would be dead by now, but instead, still has 18 to work with. Firebat still finds a couple of other pairs, right? He has the Anoia module and the Goldrin.
Ooh. 2 Goldrins now.
Funny enough, by the way, Firebat actually had the Anoia module just played as itself instead of magnetizing onto a minion. And that's largely because I think Firebat had the Anoia module pick off at the very beginning off of AFK.
Yeah.
That's the only explanation. I'd be very shocked if he just played it as one minion.
Plays in a couple of buffs here, still keeping that Light Fang there. Throws on the Wolf, gets rid of one.
Oh, Firebat, I think, wanted to play the Crystal Weaver before he played the Goldrin.
I'm still learning Hearthstone terms, but that's when we yell order, right?
Yes, that's when we yell order, because Crystal Weaver is a battle cry, but this Goldrin is a death rattle, so you want to get the battle cries out before you play your death rattles. But sometimes the time pressure, doesn't give you that luxury, so you just have to take what you can.
Well, he still gets off the buff, so at least he got that death rattle in. It's going to be a 31-33 cleave here.
This attack from the Cave Hydra is big. If it can snipe the 2 poisonous again, that might give Firebat a chance.
All right, 50-50 chance. He secures the poison pick off.
That's big. That's huge.
Is it enough, though? 30-30. Left here on the far right for the Amalgam.
It depends. Oh, that attack's big. That means Firebat can't get to it. And with that, Vinz is going to close it out with 16 damage. Rabid Rangers gets their first win of the tournament. And Firebat finishes with a very commendable 2nd place for the Doombringers. All right, with that, a job well done. We're going to head over to Tim, who's going to talk to Vinz about his victory.
Super quick. Well, it looks like I'm over here with Vinz, who just secured the win. Vinz, you picked Patchwork at the very, very beginning. You started a buff, you teched pretty crazy, you found a brand. And I wanted to know, what was your thought process during that entire phase of picking up brand and not sticking with a Soul Juggler?
Okay, my thinking process was, if I'm not able to find the light thing, I will do my own light thing with my brand, and I will take little battle cries and do them every turn, rotate with them. And so I had 2 big amalgam, and I found the Megazord that gave me a Divine Shield and the Wind Fury. So that was crazy with my amalgam.
Yeah, it went incredibly well for you. You and Firebat both went for buff strategies and really tried to build for that late game. Was there any worry that you couldn't pull the victory out? And if there was, what was the moment where that kind of subdued a little bit?
Actually, at first, Regis told me that Firebat got the Light Fang pretty early.
Nice job.
So when I was against him, I chose to level up to 5. So because I knew I was going to lose, and then I was able to build for late game pretty easily.
Wow, look at that. The teamwork paying off for you guys. I got to ask you, how do you feel about your team right now? You guys have had a bit of a rough start so far, but overall, you guys are starting to bounce back. How you got to feel about that?
Actually, like we told in the interview, we fear no one.
Okay.
We just take a slow start, and then at the end, Toast is going to win.
Toast, can you confirm that for me?
Yes, I can confirm.
All right, there you have it, guys. Toast has confirmed it. They're going to pull off the victory. I can't wait to see that happen. For now, I'm going to send you back over to Dan, and we'll continue today's matchups.
Makes sense to me. I've never heard Disguised Toast get second place ever, have you?
I haven't.
I was waiting for him to respond. I think Toast is busy memeing up with his chat. For people who don't know, the last Auto Battle tournament Toast got, I believe he got second.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah. And it was a really respectable finish, regardless. Really did a great job showcasing his skill. And I think that team, again, Rabid Rangers, they're my pick. I think they're underdogs. But at the same time, they've got some major skills. I think Vinz was showing us, right? Like, some of the traditional picks that I thought were like, oh, you don't want that second Malcolm early. You don't want this. But Vinz is saying, this is my line that I'm taking. And here's rewarded by teching up a little bit more aggressively, focusing on the battle cries and less on what he's trying to buff, and get that advantage early so that way he can snowball a victory. So that was a really good job. And again, part of the reason why I enjoy watching a lot of Battlegrounds is the diversity of opinions and strategies. It's not facts, Tim, they're opinions.
Yeah.
I think Surrender showing us some interesting stuff. I think Vinz is showing us some creative ways to play within established builds. And then we see the usual good stuff. We've seen a lot of Beast do well. We've seen a lot of those Menagerie builds do well, and maybe even some of those Murlocs dominate late game.
Honestly, my favorite part of that entire interview was hearing about the teamwork between the teammates and them saying, okay, listen, Firebat's in a really good position. You need to tech up here, or you need to be able to pull out a different minion. And Vinz was able to adjust because of that. That really shows that this format allows for communication to make sure that as a team, you are earning the point. So Vinz making a great decision. Honestly, myself, that Soul Juggler, I would have all in on that puppy and just gone full on demons. It's cool to see someone else adjust.
One of the players accidentally walked into the desk and moved everything and almost bowled it over, but it was just off camera, so I was like, woof. It would be kind of awkward, but
lethal.
Awkwardness is what we handle really well in the tavern. We welcome people from all kinds of walks of life. Exhibit A here. So for people who are tuning in, we have 3 lobbies that have finished up. We're going to go ahead and check in on the results and some of the replays of what's happened around the tavern. So here are the results from Lobby A. We had Solary's Vinz take first place, so representing the French-speaking community. Firebat, 2014 world champion and fellow member of Omnistone alongside myself and Brian Kibler, holding it down in second place. Firebat's been very consistent for Doombringers, getting that 1 or 2 points every single time, so definitely holding it down. And then Rust Buckets at 3rd and 4th place, getting a few points for their teams, which is going to be important. This is not exactly their best round, right? Their best round was 1st and 2nd.
Yeah.
Getting 3rd and 4th is still a big deal.
Still additional points to add on to your entire tally for what you're looking for in this tournament. Just being consistent is certainly key. Good to see the Doombringers as well, bringing in a little bit more points as well. Someone that I've been voting for. Now, of course, if you do not get to watch the casted match that you are looking for in certain players, they are streaming their own POVs. Go check them out. You obviously know your favorite streamers. You know who you want to check out. We encourage you to go give them a watch. Maybe throw up a couple monitors and see what they're doing. A lot of them are also providing their own commentary. I think Disguised Toast, in particular, was putting out a lot of his own commentary as well.
Yeah, Regis loves doing it. Kibler loves doing it. Amaz is very communicative about their ideas. Yeah, it's why his fans love him, because he's very high energy, and you hear like Kibler yelling like no based off his beast outcome. So all that is still going on for your favorite streamers. We didn't take them away away from you. Some people, when we have them play in tournaments, they're like, I don't get my normal stream of content that I'm used to. But what's fun is you get to see everybody, so you can even pull up multi-Twitch. I'm interested to see if any of them are squad streaming, maybe even. But hopefully all of you are enjoying all that content out there. But there's also another lobby of results that we want to showcase of what ended up happening, because that was only lobby A. Lobby B is simultaneously going on. Do we know anything that happened there?
So I've heard an update. Lobby B is currently near the ending stages right now, so they're still being played out, but we will get to a point where we'll give you your points. Of course, you can check those out on the POVs. If we get the go-ahead to jump into the cast, we certainly will. Frodo and I enjoy watching all these strategies really unfolding, so we'll make sure we can do that. But I want to come back to your point earlier about all these players streaming and whatnot. This is a freaking cool setup. Like, I'm just here as a witness, and I get to kind of just soak it all up. First off, yeah, the set, but I'm talking about in general. All these players have been taken care of. They're all able to stream. I mean, shout out to Blizzard, man, for putting so much work into this tournament and really making sure that everyone is able to keep doing their content, because you and I are content producers as well and whatnot. And like whenever well, you retired a little bit, but you know, you do what you do. You work hard. Do not deny it.
There's a Twitch Rivals broadcast going on.
Exactly. Like, you're a hard worker, man. And it feels weird to slow down your content to come to a tournament and whatnot. So I just want to give kudos out to Blizzard to make sure that all these guys can continue to keep creating and giving people what they want.
It's a cool trend happening. The co-streaming events, the idea that it's not like one content creator sacrificing his content and his viewers and the subs that all go with it to compete at the same time. Plus, one thing that we've touched upon very early on, but for people who are not super familiar with like Hearthstone's history, we have a lot of legacied and historical players featured in this tournament. Amaz hasn't competed in Hearthstone in years. Asmodai hasn't competed in years. You know, we have former GMs, current GMs, we have streamers, we have some people who are casters, primarily like Brian Kibler and Vinz. We have Choco Bars, who's kind of our special guest from Offline TV, but also like part of that Joe synergy. She's holding it down.
We're talking about Amaz not competing in a while, but guess what? Amaz just pulled off another big win. In fact, he got the victory in this last matchup as he won Lobby B. That will award his team a total of 5 points, but Amaz, he came out to play today.
Yeah, I think perhaps seeing the Megafins do really well in the previous round with Hafu and Dog topping out first and second, they're like, okay, it's our turn to get more points. And the points ultimately would determine who gets first to fourth for that $200,000 remaining. We have $200K on the line for the tournament prize and $100K bonus prizing based off of the people's votes before the tournament. If you voted for a team, every win that you got counted for an additional vote for the team.
Correct.
And we had like almost 1 million votes for Team Rust Buckets. And they got 25K, but so did everybody. Everybody needs to at least get 200K in order to get the 25K bonus.
Yeah, well, it's a testament to the fans and knowing who exactly they want to cheer for, because this team has been doing very, very well. And in fact, I'm hearing that we might have the Lobby B results here if we want to check out who exactly was able to pull out the win.
Let's go ahead and check out what happened in the second lobby results. Amaz, first place. So that puts him firmly ahead of the lobby, but you know, not too far removed. His teammate, Brian Kibler, at third place. Brian Kibler, the 2-point king.
He's been second place every time. In fact, he's walked away from his computer here, but second place every single round. Just 2-2-2s across the board, landing a total of 6. RDU also up there getting a second place.
Yeah.
I think when I was listening on the players, it felt like RDU and Vinz would be the quiet ones that may be able to snipe a couple of wins.
RDU's anything but quiet.
Here. Okay, well, he's very, very active. I just feel like when he's thinking, he's all by himself, and he's like, here's my thoughts. But RDU, man, able to secure a win. And then, of course, Asmodai with 1 point for himself.
Yeah, Asmodai getting that point for the Doombringers. Surrender, Toast, Choco Bars, and Hafu. So no members from Rabid Rangers getting points in this lobby. Hafu, highest of highs, lowest of lows, first and 8th place. But hey, I think going for first or 8th is a very good thing, because 5 points is worth way more than just getting 4th place 5 different. Like, if you get 4th place 5 times, that's worth 1 first place.
Sure.
So it's important that you're still getting those points. And as a result, even though Hafu didn't get the points this round, Megafin still put some on the board, and that means Rust Buckets climbs even further ahead. The closest thing, Tim, about this competition, who gets fourth place? Rabid Rangers and Doombringers. There has to be one fourth place team, Tim.
Yeah, I mean, there's money involved too, so you don't want to be that fourth place team. Sure, you walk away with a pretty penny, but imagine if you had a couple nickels as well to go with that, and that is certainly something that you can get if you get into a third place, which is what our teams are looking for. Right now, third place and fourth place are pretty darn close in points, 10 and 11, and we'll continue to watch that unfold. There's still a chance also for our third place and fourth place team to chase second and first, so don't count them out quite yet.
That's right. So we have more lobbies and action coming your way. We're going to take a brief intermission. When we come back, we're going to get fourth lobbies underway here in the Hearthstone Battlegrounds Brawl.